VPN in because Verizon is not working right. And we've had this problem a long time ago, too. Now, let me see if I can get this to... That's disturbing looking. All right, I gotta move this.
Yep, now it's working here immediately. I can actually see that.
Let me see.
I can see your stream now. There's no buffering or anything.
So what the hell? It's got to be Verizon then.
Oh yeah, 100%. So.
Okay, so Verizon's screwing me up.
Yeah. So
We just
I'll give them a call tomorrow.
Yes, definitely harass the shit out of them.
What is this? Is this an iPad? What is this?
Yeah, that's yeah. I want to put that back on.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna need to connect to the VPN.
Oh.
Oh, it's not an iPad. This is like
no. Android. So it won't.
Can I see it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Might as well pull it off because I'm not. You can disconnect the wire so it's easier. Might have to put.
That's fine. Just have to download it in the Play Store. Okay, get it. Fed. She is happy.
She's fed and she's happy.
That's right.
I don't want to tie you up all damn night.
Yeah, this is the temporary fix.
I gotta put more hair on this in this spot. I was goofing off and not paying attention to what I'm doing here. So we're gonna spread this out and add a little bit more hair.
I'm surprised no one's been having an issue on my server.
Well, have they? You don't know if they are.
Maybe they are, and they just no one's saying anything.
I mean, it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. Is that true? It's doing pretty good.
Start calling her Burpee. She does burp a lot. That food makes her burp.
Yeah. She burps after she eats anything. She'd have 3 bites of a carrot. She'll burp.
Really?
Yeah. She is late burping. She always will walk up to you too first before she does anything. She'll hold it. She won't burp like after she eats. She'll walk up to someone and then burp.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty peculiar.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of strange, but it's a cool dog. I know that.
She's pretty cool.
She is cool.
053. And there it goes.
So that works now too?
Yep, that fixes it. You just leave it like this so you can see the chat.
Yeah. Oh wow, you got it up already.
How do you... Does this just extend?
Yeah, let me pull it. I'll pull it. All right, we got to make sure we're not on any buttons.
I don't think... Yeah. Alright, you're back in business.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go help Angela. We're cleaning up my
All right.
room a little bit.
Yeah, that's my son.
Pickle's not in there, is she?
That's my son. He's no, I don't think so. I don't see her.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna shut this so she doesn't.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome, love
I'm back to streaming again.
you. Yay.
My son knows his shit. I'm gonna tell you guys. So what do you got to do? Thorburn, you on with me? Okay, go dogs. You guys are here with me. So about 4 years ago, we had a serious problem with Verizon. Not Verizon. Yeah, the Verizon Fios. Yeah, it was Fios. All right. So what was happening was we were having the same problem where we couldn't stream, we couldn't download, we couldn't do anything. And what happened was somewhere down the line, there was a problem. They had a reset button, something. I don't know what it was they had to do, but they had to do something. But the problem was the whole time it took us 2-3 months of having really bad internet before they finally found the problem. And we had managers out here looking at our system. They replaced a lot of stuff on our wall. And here it is, the same bullshit's happening again. And it's literally, it started happening right when the war started. So I don't know if something got reset. I don't know. We're right back to square one again. So my son's going to be on the horn with them and tomorrow, and he's going to jump all over their ass because this is bullshit. We're paying a lot of money for my internet because I have Fios and I have a full gig up and a full gig down speed, and the service is shit right now, and I'm not going to pay for that. And I'm not going to wait around for 6 months to figure out the problem. I'll get rid of this service. That's how bad it. I'm really fed up with their bullshit, and I'm really fed up with Verizon Fios. They're normally a good. It's really good. I won't say it's a good service, but it's a good. What do I want to say? It's good. Let me concentrate for 1 second. See how thin that is right there with that hair? Well, you can't see it from that side. You can't see what I'm looking at. Okay, hold on. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you guys in a minute. So we were having problems with Fios before. Hopefully they have the documentation of this problem that I had before, and they can look right into it and then fix the problem quickly. But to get to the point, my son came in here, tested this, tested that, did that. I mean, in this short a time, and realized it is definitely coming from Verizon. It's not anything we're doing, or it's not anything we can do. So he put NordVPN on here, and that's why we're able to stream, because we had to bypass their service. So we're actually streaming because we're on NordVPN. We had to use a VPN to be able to stream. Now, how messed up is that? And we had to do the same thing last time for a while. To get any streaming, we had to literally use a VPN, and it took months. I mean, we went through hell with them, and I got to the point where I'm like, look, you either fix this thing within the next 24 hours, or we're getting rid of you. So they finally fixed it. Like, literally, I had to go to the higher ups to do this, and I said, I want refunds. I want a refund on the last 3 months. It was 2 to 3 months we did without proper internet, and they refunded us 3 months of internet. I think it was 3 months. 3 months they refunded, because I want full refund too, because we had shit for service. Nothing that was advertised. Let's just put it that way. Nothing that was advertised. Terrible. So, this is Thorburn's mask, and we are hairing this mask. as you can see, I never stopped. I had to keep going with this. Like I didn't want to. While my son was working on that internet problem, um, we. You know, kept wearing the mask because my goal is Thornburn. If you're still there, I want to get this thing mailed off tomorrow afternoon, probably early a.m. maybe 3. I'm thinking like 11 a.m. because when this dries overnight, I'll be able to. Yeah, when this dries overnight, we'll be able to style it tomorrow morning. I don't want any extra. See, the hairline's right here. If you can see that, it's very, very faint, but there's a hairline right here. It's not, you know, right there. So we need to cock this back. We're getting close. There we go. One more layer, yeah, one more layer of 4-inch hair. Let me read your comments before I get into the next. Yeah, Thorburn, thanks for helping your dad. Yeah, the old man that is not technically sound, but he does this for a living. You know, he makes big money. He's a really smart kid, really smart, and he's 30 years old. And he's a specialist. I can't remember what the hell I don't remember his title. It's terrible, man. I should know his title, right? Because you're supposed to brag about it. But I can tell you this: he's pretty high up on the totem pole. He runs the full company, pretty much. They rely on him for a lot of work. So, and he bounces around. He does a lot of traveling. So, he knows his shit. It's good to know. But he lives in Connecticut, so he's a long ways away. He can't just jump in the car and say, "Hey, Dad, I'll come down and fix your." But we have it set up to where he can actually log into my computer and analyze anything from there. He also has a server here that he runs. Yeah, man. So it's an interesting. Too much there. We're gonna have enough hair, man. We're gonna have enough hair, Thorburn. Okay, John. Internet providers suck. Yeah, I know. Skylink is really good. It's expensive though. You never lose your connection. Starlink. Yeah, I'm thinking about going with Starlink. I am, but the download and upload speed's still not as fast as Verizon Fios. But you don't have this constant interference. I have a question for you though. How about when the weather's bad? Do you lose any service? Because satellite TV is bad when the weather's real bad. Is it the same thing where you can lose service during bad weather? That's my question. Okay, let me read down Starlink. They should be refunding you again, bro. Yeah, they're going to be. Trust me. Well, it depends on how long. If it's only down for a week, I'm not going to complain. Oh, I'll be all right. You know, but try this 2-month bullshit with me again and see what happens. I'm going to tell them right away. You know what? I think I'm going to get Starlink. You can kiss my butt. fix it, or I'm getting Starlink. Starlink wasn't available last time this happened. I hear a pickle. So yeah, it's crazy, man, crazy. So I got my Jaws shirt on. In case you're wondering, it's a little tight on me. This was bought as a 2X. I don't care. My biggest thing is I don't care if this gets damaged. I'm running out of shirts that are so messed up from all the latex and all the bullshit, all the gunk that I'm always working with. So, but it's kind of a tribute. 50 years since Jaws was released, and I saw that as a young teenager at 13 years old. And we went to that movie, oh my God, it was summertime. We used to go on the boardwalk in Wildwood. And it was at the Blaker Theater. You want to look that up sometime? Blaker Theater on Wildwood Boardwalk. And we went and saw that well, it happened to be one really, really hot summer. And I had a friend that was very, very pale skinned. He couldn't go in the sun a lot. And he couldn't actually be in the sun at all. He would turn into a lobster and couldn't, it was terrible. So me, I didn't care. I wasn't trying to tan her. I was 13 years old. I didn't give a shit. So I said, okay, well, we'll stay out of the sun. Let's go to Blaker and we'll go see Jaws. Well, we find out when you go see the matinee to see Jaws in 1975. That's when that happened. I was 13 years old. So, man, see, I got sidetracked and forgot to put the latex on the mask. So I always cross over just a little bit. I always cross over my hair fibers just a little bit. All right. And you guys you're not seeing as good as I am right now. I just got to keep these popsicle sticks a little cleaner because I don't want the hair to grab to this popsicle stick, because once it starts to dry on the popsicle stick, the hair starts to grab. That'll blend. That's all I care about, is it'll blend. Really? Keep it off of there. Okay, let me see. Okay, so let me talk to you about Jaws. So, in 1975, they had matinees at the Blaker Theater. Well, the place was always dead. I mean, nobody in the place on the matinees, even when Jaws was popular. But Jaws came out very, very early spring, and by July, nobody was going to the matinees to see it anymore because they had already saw it probably 2-3 times. That's how big this movie was back then. Everybody went and saw it 2 to 3 times. And we hung out. So what happened was we would pay for the day, and as long as we didn't get crazy in there and do too much, jump around, there was nobody in the theater. So us three, my brother, my younger brother Eddie, who has passed away since, and my buddy Bob, and me, would just hang in the theater all day. And we would just watch Jaws 2-3 times in a row before we finally, in the evening, we had to get out of there. because then the night shows would come on. You know, the night shift would start. You know, come in once the afternoon matinee was over, and this went on every day, and all we had to pay to go into the theater, I think it was like 50 cents for the matinee. 50 cents. It might have been 75. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. That was a long time ago. But we went in and we hung out and we watched that Jaws movie. I can't tell you how many times we saw Jaws. How many times did we actually watch the movie? That's a different thing. We probably just goofed off in there the whole time. You know, we goofed off in the theater. But I have very fond memories of seeing Jaws, just like I do with Halloween. There were two really, really fun movies to go see in the theaters. It's a shame because the problem is today you don't appreciate movies like you did back then because everything's accessible to your phone. You know, this phone, I hate to say it, I mean, as far as much good things that it's good for, it's also horrible as far as you don't appreciate enough. You don't get to go out enough. You don't go out. You don't socialize enough where you're really talking to people when you go out, not just texting on the phone. It's just way different the way it used to be. You know, you talked on the phone. I could tell you back in the day, catch me on the phone. Yeah, that's a miracle. It had to be snowing, blizzarding. It had to be, you know, raining real bad where I was in the house. I'm telling you, I never was in the house, especially in the summertime. Forget it. My parents don't even. My parents started to forget my name. That's how bad it was as far as, you know, seeing us. You know, who are you? Who are you? Oh, you want to eat? You want to come in here and eat my food? And what? Go right back out again? Yeah, that's what we did. You know, and my parents were a little bit easygoing. A lot of parents didn't let their kids go out too much at nighttime, but we were able to go out. But we had a rule: we weren't allowed to leave the block. My parents always said, you know, you're going to go out. You're going to go out and play. We used to play jailbreak at nighttime, flashlight tag, all kinds of games at night. But that's what you did. And the parents didn't mind us going out as long as we stayed within, you know, yelling distance. That was their thing. They could yell out the door, "Okay, guys, that's enough. Come in." My old man, he'd be like, "Okay, now don't make him say it twice. Oh my God, don't make him say it twice. Okay, guys, I can hear his voice in my head. Okay, guys, that's it, man. Come on, let's go. Bedtime or movie time, whatever, you know." And that was usually like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. You know, when he got tired, that's when he said, "Okay, I want you guys in." But the reason why, you know, later on in life, you know, I said, "Dad, how come you were so easygoing, letting us stay out later at night?" Simple. I got to watch more TV by myself. He got to hog the TV. Him and my mom. They enjoyed watching the TV. And he was like, you know, if you guys were in here, we would have to start watching Disney movies and, you know, and then we're talking when we were young. You know, I'm not talking when I was 15, 16 years old. I'm talking like I was 12, 10, 11 years old, you know, still young. And, yeah, I remember them days. I do. I have very fond memories of my parents. They're both gone now. It sucks when you lose your parents, trust me. It really does. I just lost my mom in 2021. And, you know, you never get over those. You never get over it. You just don't dwell on, like, negativity. I never dwell on negativity. We never had much of it. But you don't dwell on those things. Just cherish the great memories that you have with them. And remember the good times. Like I always do with my brother. My brother Eddie, we didn't get along so much as we became young adults. You know, older teen. I would say from 15 until we, until we became full adults. We didn't get along as much because we were totally different as far as personalities, totally different hobbies. Just hunting around different crowd. So I was into sports. He was more into drinking and partying and having a good time. I'm nothing wrong with that because as I've gotten older, I've realized, you know what? There's no harm there either, as long as you don't overdo it with your body and you destroy yourself. But I respect all of that, no matter what it is. I think when I was younger, I would say, "Oh man, if you're not a jock." Well, let me tell you something about being a jock. I am a jock, but you know what? I've got all these bad. It didn't do me a damn bit of good. It destroyed my body. Literally, it destroyed my body. I look back now and I wish I had done what my brother done, Eddie. My brother Eddie, who's now dead, but just partying and the hell with that damn baseball, football, and all that bullshit. He used to say it all the time. He could play too. The weird thing was he was very athletic. My brother Eddie was very athletic, and he was a perfect running back when he played football. He did play with us every once in a while, but he wasn't really like into it. He wasn't dedicated or really. So, but I do miss my brother Eddie. I really do. I was a hard ass. I really was. I was a hard son of a bitch. I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. I was very routine. I was very military type. As a military, I would have been perfect in the military because I was very anal about every little thing. And sometimes that's not the way to be. Trust me. It's important to be like that when things are really, really tough. When you're trying to. I'm going to read your part. Let's read your. Okay, so should be refunded, John. No, Thornbird, love your shirt too, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to ban someone in my group. Other admins had already given him warnings. Yeah, that's what happens. I've got my buddy who watches my channel. Anybody goes a little nuts or anything, they're gone. So that's the way that happens. Thorberg dog, sometimes you gotta do it. Yeah, sometimes you do. And you gotta understand when somebody's on the channel and they're constantly just putting like nonsense up and they're just putting, they're bombarding the channel with all these posts. Boom, 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 boom. That they're doing that on purpose to wreck your streams so that nobody can talk. Nobody else can talk. So at any rate, all right, so I ended up with 2 extra pieces of short. We're going to put them back in there because I got to do long now. Got to do long hairs. All right. Now we'll put that in here. Oh yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this forward like this. All right, now you see how that hair part's going a little weird? It's all right. We want it to do that because it'll make the hair flow better when I go to. I don't always. It kind of doesn't really matter because you're moving the hair around anyway. You are moving this hair around big time. I'm gonna read the rest of these comments as I get the glue in here, and I want to put. I have enough here to do the whole span. cleaner popsicle stick. Clean this one. It's nice and dry already. There you go. Boom. Just pop right off of there. That's it. That straightened that out, believe it or not. That little bit of extra. I see I got some felting going on here with this hair. Alright, we don't need that much right there. So we're going to strip that one down. I want that seam to cross over just a little bit. All right, let me read one. Dog, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Thorburn, unfortunately, that's one of the tasks of being an admin. Yes, it is definitely. John, I haven't heard of anyone having issues due to weather. All right, that sounds good. Glad to know that. John, did you jump during the Ben Gardner jump scare? Oh, hell yeah, man. Ben Gardner, when that head popped out of there. Woohoo! Yeah, first time you see the movie, that got you. And it wasn't just the head popping out. A lot of people don't understand. They had this screeching noise. It was like, it was like, oh my God. Because in the theater, it's loud, man. They put that on so loud. And it scared the shit. I felt like you got electrocuted. That's how bad it scared you. Now, it's not scary as far as, what's the right way to say? Startle. It's a startle scare. It really gets you, man. It got you good. It really got us good. That was something. That was something. That was a hell of a scare. Good movie. I mean, and Roy Schreider, as far as Sheriff Brody, and just the actors, oh, they were so amazing. Guy played Quinn. I'm trying to remember his name now. Robert Shaw. Oh my God, he was so good. And you know how I knew he was so good? My grandfather was just like him, a fisherman. And I mean, he really was like him in every way. He reminded me of my grandfather. I could tell you a funny story with my brother who went crabbing one time. They went out. It was only a little 17-footer outboard, and my my brother was only like 12 years old. Keith, my brother Keith. So my brother used to go out crabbing with my grandfather all the time, and he loved going fishing with him and crabbing with him, and they would go out on the Delaware Bay. Now the Delaware Bay can get pretty rough, you know. It don't have to be a storm or anything. It gets rough out there. So the Delaware Bay can get pretty rough. Well, anyway, my brother, they're out there crabbing, and my grandfather decides, hey, let's open this thing up. Let's hit some waves. That's how he said it. Let's hit some waves. And he would bang, bang. He'd hit that thing, and it started getting pretty choppy. And they're hitting. They're on the boat. And they're bang, bang. He's got the steering wheel going around. All of a sudden, the steering wheel snaps off. Now my brother's only 12 years old, so he freaks out. He's like, "How are we going to get home? How are we going to get?" Oh no, wait a minute. That's not the best part. That's not the best part. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up a little bit. So before he freaks out, he's like, "Well, how are we going to fix that?" My grandfather, he gets pissed off. He takes the steering wheel. It's in his hands now, and it's not connected. It's just in his hands. And he looks at it, and he's like, Mother effer, and throws it overboard. Just throws it overboard. Now that's when my brother was like, "Wait, how are we going to get home? You threw the steering wheel over." So, needless to say, my grandfather, always kept tools in his. So he grabbed a pair of vice grips, and he vice gripped onto the steering shaft, and he steered the boat home with a pair of vice grips. But man, my brother freaked out on that one. He was like, he scared the shit out of him because he thought we got no way to steer the boat home. I could tell you some stories with some fishing trips, man, with my grandfather. He was a trip. And he loved skimming off the sandbars. Let me tell you that. He used to love hitting them sandbars. I can't tell you how many times we'd get a call from the Marine Police or the Coast Guard. Sometimes the Coast Guard would have to go out there and rescue his ass because he would take the risk. He'd say, "Oh, we're going to go across here. Screw the channel markers. We don't have to pay attention to channel markers. Dad, you got to pay attention." Well, my dad used to say it all the time. You got to pay attention to the channel markers. And the channel markers, red is port, green is starboard. I might have them backwards. It's been a long time since I had to pass my seamanship. That's a line from Jaws too. But anyway, so yeah, red is starboard. No, green is starboard, red is port. All right. The stern is the back of the boat. The bow is the front of the boat. In case you don't know. All right. Red is port, which is left. Starboard is green, and that's on the right. So when you see channel markers out there, you see the red markers and you see the green markers, green buoys, and you got to go between them. That's the key. You go between the buoys. So my grandfather, he wouldn't follow them law. He wouldn't follow them rules at all, man. He would just say, "Oh, the hell with that. I'm going to go where I want to go." Sometimes he'd be like, "You know what? Let's just go this way because it's not as rough over there. Where it looks inviting because there's no waves over there." Well, that's because the water's super shallow. And oh my God, I don't know. I can't tell you how many times he's run that boat aground, and the Coast Guard had to go out there and rescue his ass. Oh man, some funny stories. So one time I'm out there with my dad, and like a knucklehead. Well, this wasn't our fault. We're in the back bay. We're not even out in the ocean. We're in the back bay, and it's calm water, And if you guys don't know the area, there's a bridge. Anybody that's on that might know this area. As you're coming into Wildwood, there's a bridge. It's a drawbridge, and we were about, I'm going to say probably a good 1,000 yards from that drawbridge to the north of it. So we're up along the mud, along the bankment, but it was deep because that's where the channel marker was. So it was deep water right there. So we had these sightseer boats where people would go out, and they were big boats. They were big boats, and they threw a lot of waves, if you don't know what wake is. They would throw a lot of wake as they went past you. Now, my dad was cursing up a storm. He's looking at this boat, and I'm like, I'm pretty young. I'm probably about, oh God, I was probably like I was about 14, 15. And I'm in the boat, and I know a lot about boats by then. I know a lot. And this was an inboard motor, which means the prop is underneath the boat. All right. Well, we were anchored, and this boat goes flying past, and the wake's like 5-foot waves, right? And it swamped us. It swamped us up into, we didn't go up onto the marsh, thank God. The tide wasn't high enough for that to happen. We didn't go up into the marsh. But the anchor rope got tangled up into the prop underneath the boat because the waves were they were so bad that it spun the boat around several times. And I didn't think nothing of it. All of a sudden, my dad goes to try and start the motor to take off. Stuck. Shaft is froze up. So now my dad, he wasn't the best swimmer in the world. He was terrible at swimming, to tell you the truth. And I happened to have, because we used to swim off his boat all the time, and I kept my snorkel and I kept my dive gear on the boat. So he's like, John, what do you think of going underneath this boat and undoing that rope off the prop? Well, yeah, that sounds like fun. So I get my snorkel on. Now it's getting evening hours, so the sun's starting to go down, so it's getting darker underneath that boat. So I didn't have a flashlight down there with me. So I'm trying to literally feel where this rope is. I'm underneath the boat and I'm down underneath there. So, I got his fillet knife underneath there. I'm cutting the line. I'm cutting the rope. We're just the hell with the anchor. That's gone. We kiss that goodbye. So it took me about 20 minutes to get that rope off of that. I kept diving down. I used to hold my breath really good. I used to hold my breath for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes, even at that age. So, but yeah, I was pretty good. I was a pretty good diver, good swimmer. My dad's like, oh, "You're coming with me every time we go out." I'm like, I really don't. But we're in a back channel. There was nothing. There's nothing back there. There's no sharks or any of that stuff. The water was probably about 15, 20 feet deep. I could see the bottom. That was one thing about that day. The water was so clear. I mean, God, the visibility was unbelievable. So that was interesting. So I think I got enough here to finish this edge. Do I? No. I've got to pull one more strand. We'll leave that for... We are going to do one more row before I do the famous glue line. I'm going to keep that here right there because I'm going to use that for the sideburns. But man, I got stories. I lived on the water, man, guys, and you don't understand. When you live on the ocean, that's what you are. You're either fishing, you're crabbing, you're diving, you're swimming, you're always in the water. That's what I was just. I was a fish in the water. I really was. I was a really good swimmer. But I learned how to swim at probably, God, how long? I'm gonna say I was probably. I don't even know how old I was. My old man threw me in the water. That's all he did. He just threw me in. Swim or die, one or the other. Your choice. That's how he said it too. I'll never forget it. Swim or die. Your choice. It was brutal. That's how it was back in them days, man. Swift kicking your ass once in a while is a good thing for you. It really is. You don't. I had parents that didn't mind putting a belt on my ass when I got out of line. And trust me, I know I deserved every beating I ever got. Deserved every beating I ever got. Never fault my old man for doing that because I've seen what these kids are like today, man. Forget it. They don't know what it's like to have a twitch. They call them a switch. There was a switch that my mom would keep. All right. Now, my mom was a softie, though. My mom was a softie. But she used to keep a switch because me and my brother Eddie knew how to get in trouble. We knew how to get in trouble. And she kept a switch. And my old man, he told her flat out, look, if you're not going to discipline these kids, I'll have somebody come over here do it for you. So my old man was tough. He was tough. He was ex-military too. That was the thing. He was military. So, Jaws, there's a store in Amity called Tashika. I looked it up. And Tashtego is a character from Moby Dick. Slipknot, yo, what's up? Slipknot, how you doing tonight, buddy? The Ben Gardner scene, yeah, it was definitely scary. It was cool. John, did you jump during? Yep, definitely did that. Ben Gardner scene, Slipknot, yep. I've been watching Jaws a lot this week. There's so many cool little details in the movie. Yeah, there is. A lot of people don't even know, like, the behind the scenes stuff was so cool, man. So cool. And did you know that the guy that played Quint, he was drunk a lot on the scene. He was always drinking, and they had a hard time with him at times because of his drinking. So, but Robert Shaw, great actor though, man. Great actor. One of the best. And like I said, he reminded me of my grandfather. But I love Jaws. As a matter of fact, tonight, I might watch it. But it has to be later. Because my mother-in-law is here, and she's an action fanatic. She doesn't like anything scary. She's 91 years old. She can't take those kind of scenes, man. That'll give her a heart attack. She sees something like that jump out. 91-year-old, don't watch scary movies. 91-year-olds, no. Not a good choice of movie planning, letting her watch scary movies. So we got the glue line. That's what we got to do now. This is Thorburns mask. Thorburn shelled out 150 bucks. I never got to it right away. Oh my God, you guys don't know. I had a hellish couple of days. I spent a fortune getting all these chemicals for my pool and getting it all up and running. But when you know, was it either yesterday or the day before yesterday? I forget what it was. Anyway, the pump quit. Somewhere along the day or even evening of the day before, the pump shut down. And we're like, what the hell's going on? Well, the pump burned up. And that wasn't the worst of it. So the pump burns up, and we're out there trying to figure out, okay, well, I buy a new pump. $500 to buy a new pump for this damn pool. Because I already had invested a couple $100 in chemicals. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to get a new pump. That's the way it's got to be. So I get the new pump. We plug it in. Still nothing. We're like, what the hell's wrong here now? So it caused a dead short. And what happened was there was a surge when that pump quit and burned up. It backfed a surge into the line that was buried underneath the ground. So somewhere along the line, it fried the wire underneath the ground. So now I had to run a special, we had to make a very thick extension cord and tie it into a 30 amp breaker. So we're plugged in on a 30 amp service, and it's an extension cord, and I have it hanging up over top of the fence and everything. It's just a we spent all day just trying to get this stupid pump up and running again, and I wasn't about to let it slide because I had too much money invested between the pump and the chemicals and opening the pool. You know, the pump. I had to rent a trash pump to drain the pool completely, and then refilled it. I do that every year with the pump, with the pool, because it's just too much of a pain in the ass to try and filter out that dirty water. No way. I'm letting that dry a few seconds before I start ooh, what is that? Get out of here. So here's the hairline right here. That's what we're going with. And we got plenty of hair hidden back behind it. Okay, before I get started with that, I've got to get rid of this latex here. And I can use this still, or can I? Yeah, I can still use this. It's somewhere along the line here. All right, so I got to get rid of this because I hear something's tapping up there. I got shit all over my fingers here. Give me a second. It only takes a few seconds for it to dry because the heat on your hand, your body temperature, dries the latex almost instantly. It's pretty wild. So one thing about mass latex, it's a lot thicker than the latex you buy at like Spirit of Halloween or anything. Just the fact that they could design and build those sharks back in the time was crazy. Yeah, I agree with you, Thorburn. Today's technology could build you a really awesome shark. Problem is, whenever you're dealing with pneumatics or hydraulics or whatever you're putting, you got that in the salt water, man, that is brutal. Nothing lasts long in salt water. It just really doesn't. Really tough. See, I just got all that latex off of there. Sticks to the hand instantly. But I don't want any boogers, because I don't want the latex boogers inside that glue. Make sure there's nothing on the top of this glass here. Plexiglass. That's what I use. I use plexiglass because I can see. I like transparency, so I can see the where it's at. Okay, so we're ready for the first portion of the glue. Now, the thing about doing the glue, the glue line, you want to make sure that your edge is very straight, and you want them perfectly spread out. That's good enough. Good enough there. All right. So now, I always keep my glue upside down because I gotta get more of this stuff. I gotta get more of this stuff. They're hammering on something up there. I can hear it tapping. I don't know what they're doing. But they're hammering on something. Alright, so now I need a really clean popsicle stick. No boogers. This dog's still there. Hey dogs, you still here? Yeah, I mean I've already done this. You know, hair to mask on YouTube. You guys see me do the process. I didn't even talk about it, did I? A lot of the first rows are 4-inch cuts. The last couple of rows in the front are 6-inch cuts, roughly. Now I'm really mashing it into the glue, into the tip of this thing. Really mashing it in. And then, to give me a really, really straight edge, I take my other scissors, these bad boys right here, and I trim this to a really, really fine straight edge. Alright, now, see if we can get this on here. Get out of here, fly. Just got yourself stuck in the... Yep, that's the glue. Now I'm pulling some fibers over because it was a little thin right over here. I need this a little closer. Need it a little closer because it's got to be into that glue good. Now see, what's nice about this is damn it. Once that dries, that tacky glue ain't no joke, man. That is some good stuff. That really grabs. Don't leave anything extra either. Now there's a little bit of a part. See this right here? So what we do is we actually start the glue line right there, and then we go right around. And you know what? Let me cut my fibers first. Let's cut my fibers first. Now, I always keep one pair of scissors glue free. And see that line of glue right there, right? That's on the plastic. I try to stay within there. I don't keep moving back. That's a big waste of glue, to tell you the truth. Because now you can reutilize that glue that's there. Because this stuff takes a while to dry. You got plenty of time to work that glue. That's about right. Now we put some glue on the head, on the mask. We're going to go right to here. to there. Thorburn, we're going to try and get this mask sent off tomorrow for sure. I'm so sorry that I didn't get to this real fast. I had so many damn things keep popping up with me, and I got a lot of appointments coming up. I've got all kinds of heart stuff that they got to monitor. They got to do a lot of stuff with my gut. They got to make sure everything is going to be good. I'm getting gastro bypass. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's when they bypass a section of your intestines and your stomach gets shrunk a little bit and it makes you lose a shitload of weight. And I have to do it. I would never do this if it was, I'm not doing this for cosmetics. I'm not doing this to, lose weight. I'm doing it because they won't do my hips unless I'm 100 pounds lighter. And so I have no choice. I have got to get this done to lose the weight. The Ozempic stopped making me lose weight. The weird thing is, though, the diet that they put me on is kind of like a protein diet. I'm only getting my carbs from like fruits and vegetables. So, and that's making me lose weight again. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe that's what I should have been doing all along, but nobody told me that. So, that's the way it is. Oh, whoa. See that? No, I almost screwed up there, man. Gotta cut that. Those excess fibers. There we go. Now we got something going on. Very little glue is on the edge of the hair here. Okay. I want a cleaner stick. There we go. Now, I don't like that. I don't like that. I might have to put a little bit of hair on there. Just a little bit to cover that. Pushed it down on top of that wet latex. The latex was still a little bit wet. I should have waited just a little bit longer. It won't hurt it. I'll fix it. But how I have to fix it is kind of a strange thing. Get off of me. Hair fibers. Hair fibers. Don't want them on the mask. Cleaning up that glue line really nice so it doesn't protrude. Now what I'll do, I won't do this now, but a little later on, once this kind of stiffens up enough, I'm going to add just a little bit more hair right here and just kind of right back. I'll use this piece right here and I'll put it right there because that glue kind of got in there and I pulled it up so it's away from those fibers. So. Believe me, there's all kinds of tricks you learn over time with this this art of making masks. I'm one of these guys that I can't learn from a book. I can't read and learn. I have to get my hands dirty. Always have been like that. Nah, Thorburn is going out to you right away. I'm not playing around. Not playing around, man. And there was it was legitimate reasons, man. The damn pump quitting. I had all these doctor's appointments that I had to go deal with last week. God, it sucked. I mean, nothing's. I'm not getting needles and all that crazy shit. They're just doing all these little stupid tests, and it's just starting. These tests now are going to start getting ramped up because they're going to be pushing to get this surgery done pretty quick. So, with that being said. Let me clear that latex off of this. And let's see how fast that stuff dried on there. So, yeah. Yeah, so we're, yeah, we're just going to leave that like that. Feel like I just got a haircut. Feel like I got hair fibers all over me. It's driving me crazy. You get the itchies. You get the itchies. Keep it upside down so that glue's not, because it's really thick, this stuff. And it really irritates you because when you're trying to get the glue to come out, if you let that bottle turn upright, even when the bottle's full, it takes forever to get that glue to come down and out of the tip. Yeah, and I really grab that fiber tight when I go to cut this. Now see, this isn't good. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Off to the side here, I kept a towel. Just for this reason. Now once this stuff's dry, this glue, I can get it off that blade with ease. I can get it off them scissors real easy. No, I don't like that. That's still not enough. There we go. And you see how little amount that is? I can spread that out a little bit better. There we go. Don't overspread it, because then what happens is you see the scalp. Touch it back here. See, I got, no, okay. Get off of there. Kyle, you better give me a hug before you leave. My son's here until when's he here? Monday morning he leaves to go back to Connecticut. He's on mini vacation. And I want him to go see his friends and really enjoy himself. You don't have to spend his entire moments with it. We see him about 3 times a year, you know, and now we're talking about him moving to, he wants to move to North Carolina. That's where he wants to live. That's where he wants to buy a house, build a house, buy a house, build a house, whatever he's going to do. I'm excited for him. You know, he's got his life started. And, you know, it's hard as a parent to let go of your kids. It really is. It's brutal. But you also know if you did a good job raising your kids, you're proud. You're proud that they're doing it on their own. He did. He's self-made. He really is self-made. So I'm very proud of him for, you know, he had our backing and everything he wanted to do as far as support goes, but not financially. He's self-made. And sometimes being self-made is the best way to learn. It really is. Getting somebody to pay your way with everything that you do, yeah. There's no satisfaction in that, man. Everything I ever did was all self-taught, you know. Oh yeah, you learn things from, you know, from people and, you know, other channels, but you get your hands dirty, you really learn the tricks. You learn how to do different things, and you do it yourself. That's what you want to do. You want to accomplish stuff. You want to really. That wasn't a great idea. My crucial mistake with this hairline tonight is always make sure that latex is dry underneath of this. Before you start putting the hair on the glue line, because that latex wants to stick to the hair underneath, and that's not good. Not when you're trying to. Alright, so what did I do? Yeah, this is the one I'm going to use for this one right here. Got enough glue there already. The only thing I want to do is I'll clean these scissors off before I try to trim that again. These things are sharp. They're really good scissors. I got these at Harbor Freight. Man, I like Harbor Freight stuff. I really do. I really like their stuff. Everybody's, oh, their stuff's cheap. Their stuff's cheap. Well, yeah, I'll buy 5 things. And you know, most of it, I haven't even had to do that. I shouldn't even say that. I haven't really had to replace anything that I bought from Harbor Freight. I've been really lucky with them. Some people complain about them. Not me. I think they're good. I think they're awesome. There we go. We got the hairline done, baby. Tomorrow, now before I end this, I'm going to actually do the glue lines real quick. We got to do that. We got the fiber for that. That looks good. That looks good. And I can see the hairline. See that's terrible. this upside down or I'll be in trouble. Get off of there. All I need is hair fibers. Swerving it around a little bit on us. That's good enough. So now we just take a little bit of hair fibers here. Not a lot, very little. I'm not looking to hair the sideburns again. All right. See, now we don't push it in real hard because we don't want a lot of hair there. We're gonna trim all that away. I want a real thin hairline too. I don't want it thick. Perfect. Now we got to get some hair. I don't want to touch it with my hand's sticky. Who's all on the live stream? I don't know. You know what we got? Wow, we got. Well, there's 3 watching, and I think I'm 2 or 3 of them. I don't even know. Forget it. As soon as I get this done, I gotta wrap it up for tonight. Cause I got shit to do. Besides that, I got a couple other things I gotta do before I wrap up for bed. There we go. Thorburn, your mask is haired. Whoa. Stay up there. Now I'm not putting a fan on this right away because I need this to firm up more before I start putting a fan on it. Because now once this is completely dry, then what we do is in the process of teasing the hair, I have to pull that first fiber. I put another glue line right at the edge, very edge of this, and I pull this all forward, and then put it right on that glue edge so it hides the glue line really well. It looks very natural like that too. Yeah, so I decided I'm going to sell this mask and focus on selling this for this year, and then next year I'll do a version 3 of the flashback. I got to get all these surgeries done. I can't push myself too hard. I've got a lot of things coming up. So when this is all done, then I'll update this mask into the version 3 until I get this thing nailed. And there's a couple things that I still don't like about it, but it's very, very, very hard to get this thing perfect. It really is a very difficult mask to do. Very difficult. I think everybody knows the original mask, 78, and Halloween 2 mask. Everybody's pretty much that have done this mask a lot. They've got that figured out. But this one here, it's a whole nother animal. I think this one's more difficult. I do. I think it's harder to do than the original mask. Very hard to do. There's a lot more to it than see, like the overcuts, the undercut. I don't know. I can't explain it. I look at the original, even the life cast that I have back there. The features are a little different. They're so different. As an artist, we have a tendency of doing what we know. So you end up making this. You heading out?
Yeah, I'm heading out. I just want to say bye.
All right, bud.
Bye. Love you.
I love you, man.
All right, I'll be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'll see you, and you know what we'll do? We gotta go do something.
Yeah, we'll go to breakfast or something tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be real late coming home, right?
No, well they work tomorrow, so I have to get out of their house before by 8 a.m. So.
Oh, well, don't stay up too late.
No. Well, they usually do. That's why I'm going over there.
Okay.
All right. But I'll see you.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
My son. Love him to death, man. So proud of him. So proud of him. You know, if you're blessed to have kids, man, enjoy them. Enjoy every minute of it. Because it's so important. Show them love. Oh, I had a discipline, don't get me wrong. I had a discipline too, but that's why they turned out the way they did, because they got decent discipline. That doesn't mean, beating kids or any of that. That has nothing to do with it. It really has nothing. I mean, there's times where I had to whack them on the backside, but that's as far as it went. It didn't go, you didn't get this, physical abusement and all that stuff. One thing my father installed in me was knowing how to give a look. And you knew you were dead if you saw that look from him. It's a dead stare. It's hard to explain, but I've inherited that. And as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what that stare is, because I actually used it when I wore the mask, and I have a picture of the mask. I have a picture on my screen. Let me show it to you. This is the actual dead stare that my dad taught me how to give. He didn't teach me. I just kind of remembered it and kind of remembered how to do it. And boy, it worked every time. If I gave that stare to them kids, forget it. They knew they were in trouble. So, the look I'm talking about, let me show you. I have to close this. So this is cool, guys. You're gonna like this. That's the look. It's a dead stare. No emotion. Just like Michael Myers. If you can master that stare, those kids will know they're in trouble. So funny. Anyway, I just chuckles. But there it is. There's the Thorburn mask with funky, cool hair. That's going to be styled tomorrow, man. It's going to be styled tomorrow. Now, when you're this close to it, you don't get that. So, all right, guys. Now that we did the hair, you've seen how it's done. I don't know if you learned anything or you care whether you learned anything. How's that? That's pretty good. It's a pretty good mask. It's a really nice mask. Very, very close to the one that's back there. There's the eyes. The eyes have it. Now the lighting's a little different, although the yellowing is perfect on this Thorburn mask. Still got to weather this a little bit. I was supposed to do the weathering before I did the hair, but I can get around it. I put a very, very light weathering on this, so that it gives you a little more realistic tone to the mask.
A Tennessee representative is taking aim at a New York City mayoral candidate. Republican Representative Andy Ogle submitted a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi calling for an investigation into Zohran Mamdani. Now Ogles is calling for Mamdani to be stripped